Welcome back, hockey fans. Today's video, I wanted to discuss a little bit of the challenges on APBA Hockey around line changes, and I'm going to do another video separate on penalties. What you hear a lot on the forums and things is the line changes can bog down this game along with penalties. My thinking on line changes is, an actual line change in hockey is the guys just jump over the boards, they're on the ice in a second, the other shift comes off. It's done in a second. So, a line change in a cards and dice hockey simulation should not take much longer than that. And when you get the game right from the company, you get the nice board, and you could lay the cards out, and it's really nice, handling the cards, looking at the cards, and it's a lot of cards though, because you get a card for every player. And as you know, if you guys ever played strat hockey, it's a similar challenge they have is handling the cards and moving the cards around and just getting your setup going. So it flows nicely, because you don't want the line changes bogging down your game, and it can. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to cover a little bit about setting up your game so players get realistic time on ice, as well as I have 3 games I set up here I'm going to show you right now, with 3 different methods of setting up your table for line changes to try to keep your APBA Hockey time within reason, and also to hopefully increase your enjoyment in the flow of the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right to the APBA score sheet. This is right off of the APBA website. You could download and print out if you like. You can see at the very top it has the time sequences marked out for each period, and it's 1 to 40. So one time sequence, 1x, if you remember from our previous videos, equals 30 seconds of game time. So when I first started playing APBA Hockey way back, it was in the winter of 96, 97. And just to tell you a little of my background with APBA hockey, I graduated from college in 93, and I bounced around a lot of like odd jobs and commission paying jobs and kind of just crummy jobs altogether. And I lived in apartments, and I finally moved back home with my parents, as a lot of people do. And I was like 25 years old at the time, and I got a job that actually paid a full, nice annual salary when I was 25. So I remember this was December 1996, and my first paycheck I remember I got from this salary job was like bigger than like my whole year's salary I was making at these other places. And I just stared at it on my bed. And what do you think, APBA guy like me went to? He went right to his APBA brochure and just started checking boxes. I picked the 96 baseball, 96 master game, APBA Hockey, all these things I couldn't buy whenever I didn't have any money, because I was working in crummy jobs before. So APBA Hockey was one with the 95, 96 set, and the rest is history. And I spent a lot of time when I just was starting that job. I played a lot of replays up in I remember my parents' bedroom, or my bedroom I had at my parents' house, and it was a lot of fun. I got to learn a little bit of APBA Hockey. And I actually was with the original basic game, which I wish they would still sell. As an actual basic game, like they have basic baseball, and because the new hockey game is really almost like master hockey, it has a lot of add-on rules, but the basic hockey, the original game that came out in the early 90s, was very simple. You could still use the cards if you have them today. If you buy cards from APBA today, you could still use the old game with those cards. It just doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles, but it's extremely simplistic. So in that original rule set, they came out they suggested lines of 5 minutes each to keep your game time manageable. With the modern game, when they reprinted it recently, they changed their recommendation, their rules, to 4-minute shifts. So back when I was playing in the winter 95, 96, I was playing those 5-minute shifts, 3 lines, 3 defensive pairs, and it worked smoothly. I was getting a game done within an hour and 10 minutes. Now with the modern game, recently they've even introduced this to the APBA conventions and APBA Hockey tournament. And what I'm going to show you guys is Steve Scoff, who's an APBA Hall of Famer, great guy, wins a lot of tournaments. He came up with a line change or sequence to keep realistic ice time for the players. So what I'm going to show you is what he came up with here, and this is very similar to what you would see like in a strat. Like if they put the little you put the little card after so many action cards. Similar concept. So if you remember in APBA, or with 4 time sequences, that's going to be 8 X's. So 8 X's is going to be 4 minutes of ice time. So if you have your standard hockey setup, like you would see in a modern game, like 4 forward lines and 3 defensive pairs. If you're playing APBA Hockey in your first period, this is how this system will work, and then you'll see at the end how much time on ice they have. So if you go forward 1 and defensive 1 to start out, your second forward line, your second defensive pair second, third forward line, third defensive pair with them. Then you're going to bring out your fourth line, your checking line. Then you can go back to the first defensive pair. And then you can go, next forward line will be the number 1 line, and they'll be paired with the second defensive pair. So you could see the 1s aren't always with the 1s, and the 2s aren't always with the 2s. So it gives you some variety during the game. So you have some different like O-Day and different defensive totals for each of these different lines. So second period, you're going to have the second line and the third defensive pair. Like I said, you could see it's just a sequence. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Actually, I messed this one up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. This goes back to 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, and then on the third period, it's a little bit different. So how that one works is first line, it's 1s and 1s. Second group bots are the 2s and 2s. Third line is the 3s and 3s. Second line, and then after the 3s and 3s, you go back to the 2s on 2s. Then on the final shift, 4 minutes of the game, reason I put X there is you could put anyone you want out there. So usually you're trying to maybe hold on to the lead, or maybe build a bigger lead, or try to come back in a game. So you may want to put your highest, your best offensive guys, your highest defensive guys, whatever you're trying to do there at the end of the game. So how this works out is, let's see, for the forward lines, they'll end up playing, if you use this pattern, they'll end up playing 20 minutes in the game. Number 1 line will be playing 20 minutes. Number 2 line will play 20 minutes. Number 3 line will be playing 12 minutes. And the fourth line will be playing 8 minutes. For the defensive pairs, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's just say they play the last one too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 4 is 24. So that'll actually be 24 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the second defensive pair will be 20 minutes also. Third defensive pair will be 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3. 4 times 4 is 16 minutes. So you see it's around 20 minutes. That's kind of what you see in hockey, like those this number 1 defense line guys are up around 24 minutes. You see that a lot in the modern game. So looking at the score sheet, you can see I circle 8, 16, 24, 32 to remind myself when to change lines. And I also use the circles too whenever we get power plays to know when the power play is over. So let's go look at a game here, and we'll look at the cards. And one thing I want to point out on the cards and how APBA Hockey works to control realistic results in your games. You see, we have a game set up here between the 1993-94 New York Rangers and the 1983-84 Edmonton Oilers. And just looking at Mark Messier's card, for example, you could see his minutes played 21. So the reason that minutes is there is that's the number of minutes that you want to have Messier play in a game to generate realistic stats, so far as to generate realistic goals and assists he would have in a normal season. So he would play on average 21 minutes. So if you play Messier 21 minutes, based on his card results and his shot range, his statistics for the year are going to come in pretty close. You see Gretzky, he has a pretty high, so he played a lot that year. Now you're looking at the different numbers. You look at Steve Larmer is 18, so he was less than Messier. You look it up at like the left wing, Alexei Kovalev, he's 16. So these centers, you also want to factor in, there's going to be some power plays during the game. So this is where, say, Gretzky would probably get, if you played on 3 power plays during the game in his regular 4 shifts, it's going to come in pretty close to 26 minutes. So that system's pretty good. And that was a system Steve Scoff came up with for the annual APBA convention hockey tournament. So I still use it for all my games. So it works out pretty well. So let's go back to the line changes here. And I want to just, first thing I'm going to show you guys is how the original game did it. It's very simple. So whenever you hit a number of shifts you want to, or X's you want to have. So in my case, I want to have each shift to be 8 X's. Once a team with the puck hits that 8th X, you roll on this change on the fly. So they have to roll on that. So I rolled a 46. So if you're using this very simple method here, 46, it says 41 to 52 that would fall into. So it's opposing left D. So let's say Messier had the puck on the 8th sequence and he rolled that 46. The puck would go to the opposing left D, who is Charlie Huddy. Now, since it was the 8th, now Edmonton would also have to change lines since we're on the 8th sequence, and we'd roll for Charlie Huddy. Like I said, this is very simplistic here. You see you get 51. So 41 to 52 would fall on there. So the opposing left D, Brian Leach, would get it for New York, and play would resume. So I didn't even change the lines here. So let's try that one more time. I want to show you this method with having all the cards out on the table. That's probably the most inefficient method you're going to see here in a moment, has the changing lines, because it could really bog you down. I want you guys to see how long it would take me to change this. So let's try that again. So let's say Messi has the puck. It's the 8th time sequence. So he has to roll on the change on the fly. He rolls a 23. It says the opposing center. Okay, so that means Wayne Gretzky now has the puck. Now I have to put the next line on for New York. And watch how long this takes me. Actually, I'll put my phone. Let me see if I could put it this way you guys can watch me. I don't know if this will show it, but if it doesn't, oh well. Okay, see like how long that took me? I don't know if you guys saw anything, but now we got the next lineup for New York. Now we got Kevin Lowe, Stefan Matteau, Adam Graves, Esa Tikkanen, Doug Lidster. Now I have to, Gretzky has the puck, so he has to change lines. 15. 15 is opposing left wing. So the opposing left wing, Stefan Matteau, takes over. Now again, I got to put the phone down and I got to change the Edmonton guys' lines. Okay, we're back. So you see how long that takes. You're handling a lot of cards, plus you're gonna have stacks of cards all over the place. It's really nice if you don't have if you have a lot of time and you're not concerned about game time. But that's how you change a line using the out of the box suggestions from APBA. Now let's improve on some things. So let's put the old game away. We're going to put this game away. I'm going to pull up another game here. I have it all ready to go. And you'll see a little bit now how the new game handles line changes. Almost there. Okay, I almost have to stand up for this because this one is interesting. So there's another way to change lines. You can see I have the teams now in 3x3 baseball card sheets. Okay. And it's a game between the 72-73 Canadiens and the 69-70 Boston Bruins. Okay. This method is nice if you're really not into handling cards and you have a lot of space. The only reason I don't like this way of doing it is it takes up a lot of space, and I like to have my book over to the left of me, and it really takes up a ton of table space to do it this way. But you're going to see in a moment how nice it is to when you change lines. So the red chips signify what line's on the ice. So whenever I change a line, all I do is go like that. I move the chip down. That's the next line. And the next defensive pair goes down here, goes like that, so forth, and so on and so forth. So on the new game, there are features called dump and chase and in the slot battle. So when a team dumps the puck into their opponent's zone to maybe buy some ice time to change lines, what you possibly could set up in APBA Hockey is what's called a dump and chase situation. So I'm going to run a line change. Now I may or may not get one, but I just want to kind of show you how the line changes work. So let's say we're on the Pete Mahovlich for the Canadiens has the puck, and they've hit they're on their 8th time sequence, so they have to change lines. This is one way to do it. I'm going to use a dump and chase, and there's another way which is a little more simpler we use sometimes, but we'll show you that. So we change lines. We're going to look at the change on the fly on the new book. So you see change on the fly. I rolled a 51. you could see, oh good, we got dump and chase. So it says opposing right D, dump and chase. So what that means is Pete Mahovlich dumps the puck in. The right D for Boston, you see all the way over here is Dallas Smith. Okay? So Dallas Smith is going to try to corral the puck and bring it back up ice. But we're going to have a dump and chase where the oncoming Canadiens forwards are going to be charging in there to try to wrestle the puck away from Dallas Smith in the corner, hopefully setting up a pass in the slot to set up a shot on goal. So we'll see how they do that. So on the dump and chase, and again, this is an advanced rule of APBA Hockey. I probably wouldn't even suggest using this rule when you first start learning the game, but hopefully this helps if you are thinking of using it to help you learn how dump and chase works. So what you do in a dump and chase is you first roll one die to see who on the Canadiens coming onto the ice. So remember, we changed lines since we rolled the change on the fly. So now Lefley, Lemaire, and Hull are on, and Lapointe and Robinson are the defensive guys. So we're going to roll one dice and see who's going down to chase after Dallas Smith. So remember, Dallas Smith is the right defenseman. I rolled a 3 on the red die, so we're going to use 3. So if you look at right defenseman here, it said the roll was 1 to 4, so he's a 3. So that means the left wing for the Canadiens is going in to try to challenge Dallas Smith in the corner. So the left wing for the Canadiens is Chuck Lefley. And how you resolve a corner battle, so they're in the corner digging for the puck, is you're going to have a battle of their C ratings. So you can see down below here, it says C6/6. The number before the slash is their offensive C rating, C meaning corner puck ability, and a 6 after is defensive rating. So we're going to compare Chuck Lefley's offensive 6, since he's on the attack. He's trying to get the puck off of Dallas Smith to set something up in front of, who's their goalie? Gary Cheevers. So Lefley's a 6. We're going to compare that to Dallas Smith's defensive C rating. So remember 6. Let's go all the way over here. Dallas Smith. Oh my goodness, he's pretty good here. Dallas Smith is a 12, so he totally destroys Lefley in the corner battles. So Dallas Smith stiff arms Chuck Lefley, gets the puck out. And so obviously, since Dallas Smith was higher, so he wins, the defense wins the corner battle. So you go right to the chart here. It says if the in the corner battle is won by the defenseman, then a possession change occurs, no X occurs. So how that line change is resolved is Dallas Smith has the puck. So now let's say remember, we still have the first line out there. We have the second line out now for Canadiens, and we have still the first line. Now the Bruins have to change Bruins have to change lines. So let's roll it again. This time we rolled an 11. Go to the change on the fly chart. It says look for 11. So 11 is opposing left wing. So what that means is the puck will now go to back to Chuck Lefley. And now the Bruins can just change their line and simply just move the chips. Move the chips, move the chips. So that's how line changes occur. This method is probably the fastest way to change lines when you're playing the game. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have a lot of room for me to write on my score sheet. There's not a lot of room for my book. It works really good if you're playing someone head to head and they're on the other side of the table. But I don't use this method just because it takes up too much space on my table. So let's go to the method I do use. And my pal I credit my pal Greg Wells for showing me this method, which this is what I use during my games I play. Let's put that game away. We're going to pull up another game here between the, let's put top line out here. Between the 81-82 New York Islanders get those guys out. Okay, 81-82 New York Islanders. We got 10 of the classic names there. We got Tonelli, Trottier, Bossy. Let's check out Mike Bossy's card. This guy's pretty awesome. So when we're looking at APBA Hockey cards, how you analyze them to see how good a guy is you look at the frequency and the range and you add them. If you find someone that has like a 50 or over, that the guy's a star of the league, a star in the league. So if you can get over 50, you're a star. And if you can get close to 60, you're in the range of like a Gretzky Lemieux type. So just adding up boss. And if you're like say 45 to 50, you're like a good player in the NHL. But think of like if you add these two numbers up and if you get it to 50, those are like the stars you'll see. So Bossy's a 26 plus 33. Obviously, we know he's a star, an 81-82, so he's way over 50. He's actually 59, so he's almost in a superstar category. So if you can get this to 60, you're like a superstar. So you would see like Lemieux, the Gretzky, Brett Hall, like those types of guys are going to be like probably up in the 60s. Defensemen, you're looking for good clearing ratings, if you remember from the previous videos, to be able to clear the puck from away from the net, as well as high defensive ratings. If you're looking for also possibly good assist rating, if you're looking for a good offensive defenseman, you want these two totals to equal 30. So if you can find a defenseman that gets to 30, see, that guy's probably not too good. Let's see the next guy here. Say Dave Langevin. He's 19. Thomas Janssen. Oh, he's 30. So Thomas Janssen is like a quality offensive defenseman. That's just a little way to analyze APBA cards. So let's set up the game here. So we have the 98-99 Dallas Stars versus the 81-82 New York Islanders. So you can see whenever you have a line change come up, it's as simple as going like flipping a card like that. It's almost like flipping a book. You just take a 3x3 baseball card sheet and cut it. So you can change the lines. I just go like that. If I change my next defensive pair, I change like that. So you can see I'm not handling cards. I'm just flipping guys. You could set it up, they're both side by side, and we have the goalies off to the side here in their own sheets. One nice thing with when we were using this method is for that third defensive pair, put them in their own sheet. So when you have a power, or if you get called on a penalty, for example, you could take one of those guys and use it to cover up your guys. So now you have just the four lines out. You could see, just use that one to cover up the guy. Okay. Now, how I do this is I don't have it out like this. I like to have a little more of a visual on the who's on the ice. So what I do, I still use that same sheets method, but I keep the extra players off to the side, my guys on the bench off to the side there. And I just put in the top lines and I switch them out. So we got that, we got those. So it looks, my game will look like this. I actually do this with, I use similar setup if I'm playing like strats. You can see it looks like, and I just go left, center, right, left, center, right. I don't try to match it up like this is left D, just twist my brain around. So I just go left, center, right, left, center, right, left D, right D, same thing, left D, right D. So how I would run a line change using my method here, let's say Mike Modano has the puck for Dallas. Okay, we have another dump and chase, looks like. Maybe we'll get it in the slot battle too. Maybe the offense will win this one. So Mike Modano wrote on the line change. They say he hit his 8th sequence, and they have to roll on that change on the fly now. So 55 on the change on the fly is opposing right D, dump and chase. So Modano dumps it in, gets it to, and Paul Boudelier is out trying to corral the puck while Dallas brings in some fresh skaters. Let's bring in some fresh skaters for Dallas. So now coming in onto the ice is Grant Marshall, Joe Nieuwendyk, and Brett Hall with Benoit Hogue and Daryl Seedorf. So again, let's roll the dice and look at the dump and chase chart. I rolled a 1. So Paul Boudelier was a right defenseman, so we're going to see who's going to challenge him. So if you see it says 1 there, a roll 1 to 4 left wing. So that means the left wing for Dallas is going to go in and try to, he's going to have an in the corner battle with Paul Boudelier. And the left wing for Dallas is Grant Marshall. So you see Grant Marshall back on his C rating down below is a 9. So let's go down to Paul Boudelier. Oh my, he's terrible. He's a 3. So offense wins. So what that means is Grant Marshall wins the corner battle versus Islanders' Paul Boudelier. And he is going to, and you can read it up here. It says, if the in the corner battle is won by the chasing forward, then a pass is made to the highest shot frequency for the in the slot battle. Check the table below. So let's see the highest shot frequency. So Marshall wins the on the corner battle. He passed it to the Golden Jet, Brett Hall. So now Brett Hall is going to have an in the corner battle against one of these Islanders forwards. Or someone on the Islanders, we'll find out. So Brett Hall's the right wing. I'm going to roll 1 die. That's a 4. So look at 4, and Brett Hall was the right wing. So 4 under right wing is left wing. So that means the left wing for Islanders is going to try to check Brett Hall off the puck in the slot. And if he cannot beat Brett Hall in a slot battle, Brett Hall is going to get a shot off with a shot range +1. So let's check Brett Hall. He's probably going to be really good. He's not that good. He's Brett Hall's a 6. And the left wing for the Islanders is Tonelli. He's a 7. So Tonelli checks Brett Hall off the puck, and you can see if the defender wins the in the slot battle, so Tonelli won, then he takes over possession with an X. So you mark an X on your sheet. That was 30 seconds of game time. And now New York's going to have to roll for the power play. or not for the power, for the change on the fly. Let's see what they get. 41. 41, opposing lefty, dump and chase. So opposing lefty, so Tonelli shoots the puck down, goes to Dallas's left defenseman. That just came on the ice, Benoit Hogue. Now New York's going to send out some fresh guys. So here comes on the ice. You can see how much faster that was in that very first sequence how I showed you handling cards. Bourne, Goring, Keller, Langevin, and Johnson. So I'm going to roll the one dice and see who of those Islander guys are going to go in and challenge Benoit Hogue. I rolled a 1. Benoit Hogue's a left defenseman. On the 1, so you roll 1 to 4, right wing. It means the right wing for the Islanders are going into the corner to try to battle Benoit Hogue. Right wing is Anders Keller. His corner rating is an 8, you could see. 8 on offense. Benoit Hogue's defensive C rating is a 10. So he's pretty good in the corners. So Benoit Hogue right away wins that corner battle versus Keller. Play resumes, and Benoit Hogue will just roll in his regular forecheck result at that point. If the dump and chase is a little bit too much, a little bit too overbearing, or too much layered on detail, one way you could also do this is, let's just do a line change here without the dump and chase option. So what you do is you roll, if you hit your X that you have to change, the team with the puck, let's say the Islanders have the puck, what you could do is once you hit it, you could say everybody has to change lines except for the defensive pair for the Islanders, or except for the forward line for the Islanders. So let's change all these guys. We'll bring in okay, so I changed the Dallas defense, the Dallas forward line. I changed the New York defensive line. So what we do is we resolve, Bourne has the puck, and we resolve what he does. So that's a 55-1. So let's just say, let's check the road day, 5, 10, 13, 17, 18. So 5 to a 4. It's going to be a shot on goal. Let's see if Bourne's shot range is 25. He's out of range. So let's see what Eddie Belfour does with it. 54-32. I wasn't prepared for that, so let's just say Belfour falls on it. Now we could change out this Bourne line. And now we have all fresh guys. So instead of doing a dump and chase, you could just roll. I know some folks don't like to use dump and chase. I do use dump and chase, but I know a lot of folks do. But the key to today's video, I just wanted to show changing lines. I would definitely suggest one of these second and third ways if you're just starting out APBA hockey, because, like I said, those line changes can really drag your game down so far as like time it takes. So it's okay if you have the time and you don't mind handling the cards. And one other thing that the instructions mention is you could have home ice advantage by doing line matchup. So the home team can put their line out second. So let's say Dallas let's say they're the visitors, Dallas. You could put like Guy Carbonneau out there, and you can see his 4 face-off. So you want to try to match up maybe a higher face-off guy. See, like Nieuwendyk is a that'd be like Dallas versus Dallas, but you could try to match up like a better defensive team, like put your checking line against the top line for the other team. You could do other things like that. But I wanted to just get that out there, just about line changes. And video's been a little bit longer, but I wanted to show you guys, and hopefully this increase your enjoyment of APBA hockey. All right, have a good night. Thanks.